Hi, welcome back. In this video, we'll understand three very important Hive concepts. That is row format SerDe, and how data is loaded into Hive tables using different methods. So let us know what is row format. Row format tells Hive how each row in the file is structured. It defines how columns are separated and how records are identified. For example, if we see, we have created a training demo.cells table. We will go and look into this data, how the data actually looks. Let me clear everything. If you look over here, the sales.csv file is delimited, that is separated by a comma. So whenever we want to create a table over this cell.csv.file, we have to mention this command over here. It says row format and it is delimited by comma. So let me try to create this table. So the table is created, and let me load the data that I have showed you into the terminal into this table. So the data got easily loaded into this table, and if I do select star, I get the exact data, so that each column which were delimited by comma got into different columns. Now let's see what is SerDe. SerDe stands for Serializer and Deserializer. It converts the raw data into Hive rows when reading and rows back into files when writing. So SerDe is the brain that understands the file format. So for example, if we want to load some JSON data, I have a JSON data file. Let me show how this JSON data file looks at our end. If you see, this is a JSON data employee.json, and if you see, this is how it looks. Name, salary, each of them is in JSON, that is given over here. So if I want to create a table over the JSON data, I have to mention row format SerDe, and this is a custom no, it is not custom. This is built-in SerDe provided by Hive. So let me create this table. The table is created. Let me load this data from the path that I have showed. This data was present in local, so I have to do local, and I will do local INPATH. So now the data is present over here. Let me read the table. If you see, the JSON data that was present in my local is now separated into columns in my table. So if we look at what is the difference between row format SerDe and row format, is row format is used for simple delimited data like CSV, whereas SerDe is used for complex data like JSON, Avro, ORC. And what happens is, we have built-in SerDes for JSON, Avro, ORC. So we just have to specify it over here. So the next concept is about loading data. One of the concept we have already gone through, that is load data. If we want to load the data into the table, we just have to put this command, but the file has to be present in our local machine. But sometimes if we want to load the data through insert, that is also possible. So we have to just write the query. Before writing the query, I'll drop the employee JSON table because it has been already loaded with the local file that I have been putting over here. So I'll drop this table. Now when I do insert into, let me just see if the table already exists. No, the table does not exist. So I'll create the same table again. The table is created, and I'll just run the query insert into table. So the insert into is done, and now I will run the select star. So in this way, if I don't have a file in my local, I can also write an insert query and write my data into the table. So in our next video, we'll see some more new Hive concept. That's it for now.